This week's episode of the podcast, we are segmented. We are segmented people. You know what? No, that doesn't sound right, does it? No. Scrap that. We aren't segmented people, but we do have segments coming up for you. Check them out. They're all in the timestamps beneath. It's all going to make sense. New layout of the podcast. Click through, enjoy. Speak about CPR, how to help people in a emergency situation. Spoke about eating in the dark and why it's actually helpful. What else did we talk about, Karan?
We talked about helping your parents with tech issues.
Oh yeah, tech issues for sure. Also, I'm not going to give too much away, but check out Confessions of a Married Man, because that's a good segment that I'm not going to give too much away.
Absolutely.
Bit of clickbait. Click it, go through, look at the timestamp, skip ahead, do what you want. Just carry on, yeah? All right, catch you there. What's happening, Doctor?
Yo, we're here live in person. We are here live in person.
We are live in person. What's happening,
Keep looking at the camera. I don't look at the camera. I should be looking at you.
You can look at me, look at the camera.
Okay.
If you want to make a point, you want to be like real bold, you do this, look at the camera and just go, yeah.
Indy, what I wanted to say to you was...
Drama effect.
Yeah. Dramatic pause.
So basically, people, you're going to see a very different podcast this week.
You.
You're going to see something that's very out there, very segmented, very different, because we got more structures of the podcast. We're starting to figure out what it is. Enjoy, see how it rumbles, give us some feedback. All those people listening, I got the numbers. I see you. You're not commenting. You're not telling us your thoughts.
You're watching.
So tell us your thoughts and let us know what you think of this. All right. But the first segment of this is called What's Happening, Doctor?
Where essentially we just talk about what's happened in the past week.
Yeah, that's it.
So what has happened, man? So we saw each other on the weekend.
Yes, we did.
That was good. Long overdue. What did we do? We went to catch a show. We saw an outdoor cinema production of Encanto.
That was class, man.
I hadn't seen it before. I do like Disney films.
Who doesn't like Disney films, man?
Yeah, like, you know, even if you
that's
get...
That's a red flag, you know. If you're dating someone, lads, ladies, and they don't like Disney, they ain't got a heart.
You gotta ask why. Yeah. And story was good. I liked how it was, it was different.
Yeah.
Music was good, on point. It was a nice day, a little bit hot, if anything. Getting a bit sticky. We had those nice sun lounger chairs.
Yeah.
Which is good, but then people in front of us just kept going moving. Steep.
But that's because they had a kid in it. There was someone in front of us who had a kid they had to keep attending to. Yeah. I'd seen the film, so I wasn't bothered. All right, but I think for others, I was like, oh, it's different to having a cinema experience where it's obviously you got that staggered approach. So if anyone stands up, it doesn't affect you too much.
It's like tiered approach,
yeah. This is just flat. So it's difficult.
So that was that. I thought nachos were very good.
Yes, they were. Very impressed.
But the drinks, not so good. So although we went for a virgin mojito, I think he used not gin in there.
It was just sugar.
it just wasn't very good. I was like, it's just got a normal drink.
It's a lemonade, bro. That's what it was.
Just fancy lemonade, mate.
Then we got on the boat.
Oh, how can we miss the boat? So guys, if you're in London, now normally what are you going to do? You're going to go on the tube, right? Obviously a pro at the tube now.
There was a train strike, people.
There was a train strike, but obviously we had things to do, places to be.
Yeah.
I've got Shindy's brother's wedding coming up. Had to do a bit of wedding shopping. Had to be tactile about that. Great thing about stores in London, close at 7 p.m. So, motor taxi, right? And I'm thinking, like, I've been to Venice. I thought Nikka Jahona is going to be Nikka meaning small guys.
Yeah.
A really small thing, 4 to 6 people. This thing's like Titanic, man.
He's thinking a speedboat like GTA.
Yeah.
So he's thinking, rock up, you get your little jubby, you get your little fake license and just ride across the Thames.
That's it.
No.
This big boy thing, come on. You know, this thing had a bar on there. It had seats like on a train where you had seats facing each other, tables.
We're talking first class seats, one of those leather ones.
Yeah.
Leather seats, tables, plate dash, cards, that is,
day.
Chill.
I went for the Magnum ice cream, loved it, and dropped it all on my jeans.
He dropped his on his jeans, and what happened to me?
So it was late in the day. I was feeling a bit tired. I had to get my double espresso.
It wasn't late in the day. It's like 3 o'clock. This guy's a psychopath needing a double espresso on a Saturday.
Got my double espresso, gave it to Indy. I said, Indy, do you think you can manage, if it's not too much bother, if you could just hold my drink, right?
I did hold your drink.
And he did successfully, but just factor in he's wearing a white t-shirt. You've seen him on the podcast.
Bright white t-shirt.
He loves his t-shirts.
This is white, yeah?
This is
the
white.
The entire thing was white. I'm wearing a white t-shirt for those that are listening. This entire t-shirt was white and it had like a little Vans logo. All right, go on.
And then, look, it's a boat, man. And the boat goes over water, goes up and down. That wasn't the issue. That's not what caught him out. Then I think there were 4 people that came on the boat and they said, can we sit either side of you? That involved Indy moving. The move didn't go down too well.
So when I moved, I thought, yeah, all good. I moved. I jumped across, sat down. And then a few minutes later, I looked down at myself just to get my phone out, and I'm like, it looks like there's skid marks on my t-shirt. And I was like,
dun dun dun,
motherfucker. I saw it and I was like, on a bright white t-shirt, and we're going into London.
Early in the day, many things to do.
Day hadn't even begun, basically.
Absolutely. And
So
two distinct little stains that you can't...
Little plop plop. Two plop plops.
Plop plops, right, which kind of look a bit like dried blood, if I'm honest.
And the
Kind of
funny
that
thing
brown
is that my fuck up and your fuck up happened within like seconds of each other.
I didn't even know about mine. I looked down, I've enjoyed my ice cream. I was like, I haven't got it anywhere in my beard. When you got big beard,
Yeah,
always a
success
problem.
story, big success.
Right? And I was like, how the bloody hell did you get on my jeans? Now, I was going to wash these jeans anyway, but then I tried with water to try and get it out and made this kind of darker color. Made it worse, and I kind of just embraced it.
So we made a great pair of...
knobs.
Yeah, and also just looking like kids who can't keep food off our clothes. It's quite shameful. It made me think if we have a kid one day, and we get that stuff
when we
on
have
you.
kids.
When, not with you obviously, but yeah, when, can't wear white shirts. Just can't do it. You can't wear them. It's just...
If we did have a kid, it'd be called Karanveer.
No.
In the Karan.
In the Karan. Oh my God, in the Karan. That's so disgusting. It has to be Karanveer.
Jag Karan.
Has to be Karanveer, isn't it?
Jagjas.
Jagveer.
Jagveer.
It's called
Jasveer.
a Jagga, isn't it?
Jasveer.
It's called a Jagga, isn't it?
Jasind. We
Think of the ugliest names possible.
Yeah.
Those in the comments. Drop it down.
If Indy and I had a
let us
baby,
know.
what would that baby be called?
Yeah.
Okay.
If we adopted a kid.
Yeah. Just
What
to be
would it be
clear.
called?
Yeah. Just to be clear. Right. But all in all, water taxi, thoroughly impressed. Really enjoyed
It's called
myself.
the Thames Clipper, for those who don't know. It's basically in conjunction with
Thames
Uber.
Clipper.
You can jump on.
Yeah, Uber boat.
Yeah, it's in conjunction. It's called Uber Boat, but you can tap in and out with the Oyster card or payment card, whatever you want to do.
Whilst on the Oyster card, so let's just ask the viewers about this. So, guys, as you know, you can use an Oyster card, right? Which is essentially a prepaid card. You top it up and you use it, right? But then some technology came out a while ago, like a while ago, where you could just use any contactless card. And obviously, you know, when you're using an Oyster card, that money's coming from a card you would otherwise use.
Yeah.
So logic dictates that most normal people are just going to use a normal bank card. I did it. Shindy did it. Sanj did it. Indy, I thought, had moved on. This is the Saturday we're talking about. I was using a bank card, his Monzo. I was very happy. Come to Sunday, which we'll come on to, he goes back to his bloody Oyster card. And then I'm left asking him, why the Oyster card?
Let me
And for the
explain why.
nth time, explain to me and the viewers the function of using
Alright.
over a normal card.
When you got a budget every month of how much you're going to spend,
There we go, Monopoly man.
you know how much you're going to spend. You got bills, expenses, etc.
So you set a monthly budget for the
I set a monthly
Oyster?
budget for Tube,
Okay, what is that? I'm interested.
about 120,
Damn, man, that's a lot of money, man.
which includes but if you think about petrol,
Okay, so
that's my method of getting around London, and it really.
Oh, if you think about that, then so a full tank of petrol now, you're
It's
looking at
about
about
100
70. Well, for me, me about 70.
Your car's 70? No.
Yeah, I just filled it up today before podcast. It's good enough.
Why is mine like 95?
Mate, you're the big car.
Hang on, wait. Are you talking to zero?
Yeah. Well, I had I don't know, 30 left in it.
You've got 30 miles left.
Yeah, and it took 70 today.
Mad. Mine takes like 95 quid.
The B class.
B class.
You know
straight.
why? You know what the B's for? Beast.
Yeah, it doesn't drive like it at the moment.
Ace for average.
So
Authentic
anyway,
baby.
going back to the
120,
point.
bro. So,
Oyster,
yeah, yeah.
120.
120, okay.
That's how much I
That's your
budget for
number.
it. It's normally over anyway.
Okay.
But I'm like, that's how much I start with. Yeah.
Okay.
So I know if I top up periodically how much it's going to be in the month. On the same card I use, I pay for my groceries and I pay for my Oyster. So I know that
Got
if
it.
I'm
Fixed
using
amounts.
it, I know how much has gone out at the end of the month. I can just see bam, 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 how much it is. Obviously, it's going to show it at the end of the month anyway. But if I've tapped in on that day, I had this weird feeling where I'm like, I still don't know how much I've spent.
Yeah. So it's
'Cause-
like a hidden
because it
cost, and
tops
then
up
you
at the end
see
of
the
the day.
charge, and you're like, oh, yeah. I
See what I mean?
Whereas when it's on the
I don't want
Oyster,
that
it's
feeling.
just it's all siphoned
all
off.
there. It's prepaid. I can see it going down incrementally once I've tapped in and out.
So it's the real time feedback live.
See what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I want.
That is one thing actually, yeah. Because like now, we did everything on the weekend,
Yeah.
and then there's like no charge on your card,
Yeah.
and then 2 days later, you're like, oh my god,
There you
in
go.
there,
See?
baby.
That's what I'm on about. I
That's
don't want
system.
that oh my god feeling. I just want a normal feeling.
So that's the system, yeah.
Yeah.
So was that. And then what we had to do in Central is I had to hit German Street.
Yeah.
Now, this is a very interesting name. So it's spelled like Jeremy Mayan. So it's like Jeremy with M-Y-N in the end. The first time I pronounced this, I called it Jermayan Street. It was corrected by this chap from Barber said, nah, mate, nah. Be calling it German Street. You know, he thought it was really weird. And I think we got there about 6. So we had a solid hour. Had to hit 2 stores.
Yeah.
Primarily, I was looking for dinner trousers. I'm wearing a tuxedo next week.
Mm-hmm.
The only other tuxedo I own is what I wore my reception.
You were in and out within like 10 minutes.
Because I know what I'm doing, man.
10, 15.
Done the research, right? I go in.
It wasn't that. It was you had a time limit and you wanted to go to 2 stores.
Perfect.
And
Is that and I know what I'm doing.
That helped.
Yeah. No, absolutely helped. You got to be clear, man. It's like don't go food shopping when you're hungry. Like go with the list, right? So got that sorted, and that's been tailored up as we speak. That's going to be delivered. Oh, I've got a slip downstairs. Maybe that's what they were trying to deliver and they couldn't deliver.
Don't forget to take your slip off me after this. I forgot.
I will take that slip.
Yeah.
That was for what we did on Sunday. And then we hit a second store. The door was closed. They let us in. 5 minutes to go. I was looking for a double-breasted blazer. Met this wonderful elderly Spanish lady who
this guy started speaking Italian.
I was like, hey, grazie. And she's like, I'm Italian. She's like, I'm Spanish. I'm like, oh, gracias. And she's like, oh, okay.
And I was like, he's about to make a tit of himself.
Yeah.
And I think he did successfully.
But very happy with the purchase. Got a great double-breasted blazer. Going to get it tailored this week. That's good to go. Wedding day. So job done. Then what do we do? So then we progress, and now it's the hunt for food.
Well, let's skip ahead because you've got to think about time, yeah? So we ate, came back, next day. Well, what was the main thing?
Before that, the highlight of the food, guys, was drinking Lilt.
Oh, yeah, we found Lilt.
One of the
Patty
most
and Bun,
underrated,
London, found Lilt.
One of those underrated drinks out there. I think it's owned by Fanta now. A lot of good childhood memories.
Banging.
Corner stores will have it. Chippies will have it. When you get the chance, drink Lilt, not the sugar-free version like most other drinks. Unlike most
sugar-free taste all right. The Lilt one, I'm okay with it personally. You're not.
So yeah, great. Skipping to Sunday.
So we went out again with
Mont Blanc store.
With my Oyster card.
With the Oyster card this time.
Yeah.
Went to Mont Blanc store, have 2 pens from Mont Blanc, wanted them engraved, completely free service.
Yeah.
So again, I got there in the nick of time, and that will be delivered this week. So that was a successful mission as well. And then we went to Dine in the dark.
All right, so
Dine's
it is what
Noir.
it says in the tin, yeah? You eat in the darkness. I mean pitch black darkness.
Pitch black.
Now, people are like, it's overrated, it's stupid. I'll level with you. I thought that as well. I thought this is stupid. And then when I got in...
You thought it was stupid or you didn't understand why that would be a thing?
I just thought, why is it so expensive?
Right. Okay.
Genuinely, I thought, why is it so expensive? It's standard food, etc. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. We went into the restaurant. They take all electronics off you. They take your phone, your wallet, your keys, like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator. Give me your cards, your clothes, your keys, and your money. Okay, right. So they took everything off us. No electronics, nothing that emits light. Take you upstairs. When you get upstairs, the lady that we saw, I immediately clocked that she was blind.
Correct.
Because she was wearing really thick glasses and her eyes were going in 2 different directions.
Correct.
And the way that she was talking and her mannerisms were very of a person who was blind. Yeah. So I was like, cool. She's blind. Walk into the room and you have to put one hand on the person's shoulder in front of you to walk in.
Kind of like Rail Gaddi.
Literally, the slowest rail gaddi in the world because you can't see anything.
Oh, and you're taking tiny steps.
It's quite intimidating.
Yeah.
So she walks in front of us, takes us in and seats us one by one. And it's dark. I mean, you can't see anything. You can put your hand in front of your face. You could do everything. You can't see anything.
Me and Sanj had the advantage that we had the wall on our right hand side.
Oh,
which is a great. Me and Sanj did. We had a great. So when we're seated at the table, I had a reference point that was like wall. Okay, wall's there, bottle's there. My glasses there, my cutlery's here, my napkin's here. Like I had
nothing. I just had
Kenny in front of you.
In front of me. So Kenny is Garen's brother-in-law. Yeah, he sat in front of me, trying to act like this is all normal, and I'm like, because he's been before, low key having a little panic attack,
which I didn't know. Like
I'm sitting there, and I'm like,
say about anything before.
This is not comfortable. But I was like, I'm gonna hack it out. Like it's cool.
And what was it that caused the discomfort?
So basically, in that moment, I knew I'd rather be deaf than blind.
In that moment, I knew I'd rather be deaf than blind. Okay.
Because my eyes are open and I can't... It's weird having your eyes open and you can't see anything. I've become used to having some hearing loss over the years, yeah? So I can go back to it and I'll be like, I understand how this is. Kind of get it.
Okay, yeah,
but not being able to see anything freaked me out. I was like, this is actually quite sad. Like I sat there and I was like, this is getting a bit sad.
Yeah, because I guess when we're in there, we're like, it's an experience.
We know it's temporary.
It's not forever, exactly. So you're just like... You kind of enjoy it for what it is, and then
you're going to be... I was counting down the courses. I was like, starter, done.
Yeah.
Main, done.
Because of the
Now
anxiety.
dessert's done. Yeah, I was like, okay, now dessert's done. Can we go?
When did it subside at all, the feeling?
It did a little bit. When I was talking to you guys, it went, right? But I was like, I feel like I'm talking to you on the phone with super clear service, and I'm sitting in the dark, like when I'm about to go to sleep. Right?
When you were talking, I didn't get any.
No. I
you
kept it under wraps, but
Really
inside
well.
I was like, yo, can't do this.
Okay.
But it was good because I'm glad we went and we paid the premium because in a way it's a restaurant simply for people who are blind to work there.
Correct.
And that's what I respect about them.
Yes.
I was like, you guys are giving a job to people who are severely disabled, but you're making them powerful by putting them in the dark.
Yeah.
Because that's their home,
That's
and
their
that's
medium.
when
Yeah,
we are the ones who are
Uncomfortable.
disabled.
Yes.
They're the ones who are in power.
And the small things. The lady that was serving us remembered all of our names.
Yeah,
Throughout the whole
which is really
duration.
nice of them. Really nice.
Lifting plates, placing plate, like just with so much ease.
Yeah,
Like she just knew obviously her bearings and everything.
yeah,
And it was fun trying to work out how to eat things, like holding the cutlery very close to the sauce, using your one hand like to feel things,
I just use my hands, man.
pouring water. I'll tell you the funniest thing. So the water on the table was in open bottles,
Yeah,
and I kept trying to screw off the cap, and pull out the bung, and I was there putting so much jaw, so much force in,
yeah,
and then I realized I put my finger in. I was like, it's open. And then pouring that, like I was dipping my finger to work out the water level. And, yeah, all in all, just the food is good. We had a good experience. We were all together. Topped off a nice Sunday.
It was nice, man. It was nice. But
Yeah.
Dine in the Dark, I recommend it. Definitely go. We tried to guess the foods that we ate. We actually got a couple of them wrong. Me and Sanj thought we were eating lamb. We actually ate beef.
And your chicken starter.
And the chicken starters, we thought it was something else.
Yeah.
We thought it was like pork.
Yeah. Chicken.
Yeah, it just really heightens your senses. You can't predict it.
It's different.
So yeah, it was mad.
Um,
And that was good.
so that was good. Yeah,
That was good, man. I really enjoyed it.
That was a great weekend.
And we'll do that again. But that's what happened on the weekend.
That's what happened on the weekend.
All right, so that's what's been happening, Doctor. All right, next segment.
Next
This is
segment.
called Confessions of a Married Man. This is where we basically get a chance to vent or reflect on something that only happens to married men or like remotely linked to being married.
As in, we're both married. That's
So
where
what
we are in our
observation have you
life.
seen this week being married that kind of irked you?
Yeah, so this week is not about my wife, but I'm sure in future sections.
Oh, I got one, but don't worry. That's coming soon.
Maybe. All right, cool. So Shindy's brother's getting married. Okay. So in Punjabi culture, when you hand out invitations,
You got to go around, sit there.
you go sit there, you have the char pani, the gup shop, you have the catch up. And along with the card, you normally give a box of sweets,
Yeah.
which we call mithai. Okay. And one of the types of mithai is barfi.
Yeah.
It's kind of think of it's like a rectangle, guys. You get different flavors. Koya is the one I like the most. It's like a white flavor.
Yeah, the white flavor
If
one's
you ever go to
banging.
Punjabi wedding in the morning,
Plain or with nuts in?
I don't mind. I'm easy.
Nah, plain's better, man.
Pistachio, but you're allergic to nuts.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
you can't really. It's
Plain
just
is asli.
asli.
Asli means ultimate.
pure,
ultimate
pure,
level.
yeah, pure.
Pure
Uh, if you get a chance, guys, you're at a
Okay.
Punjabi wedding. After you've done the milni, you'll have breakfast. Normally with parathe, there's going to be a plate of mithai. Dig in.
Yeah, go for it.
Obviously, heavily packed with sugar, so eat in moderation. Okay?
Yeah.
So, so Shindy's mum, my mother-in-law, had dropped off 2 dabbe. That's 2 boxes. Okay, one was for Kenny and Meher, but I knew they weren't going to be here in time anyway, so I was like, they're mine as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to make my way through enjoying the barfi.
Yes.
So obviously I'm on my calorie count at the moment, but I was using it kind of like half blocks strategically. And so last Friday, Dad was hosting a party for his friends. So Shindy and I were providing logistical support, let's say,
Of course.
setting the table and whatnot. And I think we were towards the end of the night, and we had already eaten, I think. And I was just like, I just need a little bit of money, my guys. Means like a little something small, right?
A little bit sweet. Just a
Little sweet, like, even if
little salt
a little bit of something,
Yeah.
like even if I'm really, really strict on calories, it could be like, if I got a celebration box, one of those, it'll just hit that thing for me. And so then I don't need like a full dessert.
Yeah.
So I'm
Just like a kiddie bag in Star City.
and
All right. Throwback reference, yeah.
It's
Karan
great.
goes to Star City, gets this
Very
little
regularly.
kids goodie bag
$5.99
thing. Star
daily.
City's a cinema, guys, right?
frugal.
You go in there, you get this little kids box.
called
It
kids
gives you a little
combo.
bit of popcorn, a little bit of sweets, a little bit of
Drink,
drink, and that's
popcorn,
it.
and sweet. Yeah.
Sorted. And he's like, it's the perfect amount of everything.
It is the perfect amount, right?
So now he's thinking,
Because then you
same
can go and
thing
have
with
your dinner,
Barfi.
right? So yeah, exactly. And so open the fridge. There's no boxes. 2 boxes the day before. There are no boxes now. I'm like, what is going on? Now, Dad is notorious when it comes to, if he thinks something's off
Yeah.
or finished or not being consumed, bin. Dad is the Terminator. Yeah,
Straight up.
Straight up, man.
Even Barfi. My parents wanted me to throw out Barfi for years. I mean years.
But
That's
it's
not
not
an
just Barfi.
exaggeration.
Like, if he sees, like, you know, biscuits that have been there for a while, pound chocolate,
He's thinking
anything.
he's thinking it's
which-
gone stale.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, no one's going to eat this. Bin. He likes cleanliness. Remember, worked in prisons most of his life. Order is very important.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Cleanliness. So that's my assumption. But I'm like, okay, well, you know, he's having a dinner party. I'm not going to go into his dinner party and be like, where's my Barfi?
I would. I'd call him and be like, oi, what happened?
So then
Please tell me it's in the bin. I can retrieve it. It's still in the box.
I can't.
Don't act like you've never done that. Don't act like you've
I've
never
never
done
done
that.
that, man.
I've done that when I've thrown something away in the box. I pulled it out. I was like,
I think
alright.
we worked out why you got IBS. But anyway, so I think I satisfied myself with something else. Can't remember, probably biscuit or jelly. I think I had a jelly, 10-calorie jelly. Does the job. And then the next day, where was I? We were coming to see you guys.
yeah.
So we didn't catch up with Dad in the
You
morning.
were going to bring the
gone.
Barfi.
No, I wasn't going to bring the Barfi.
Would you have brought it down for me though?
Do you like Barfi?
Only like the small amount that you like.
Well, I
once.
didn't know that. I didn't
Next
know
time,
that.
just bring me a little
No,
see-through bag with a little bit in it.
Okay,
I'll sit down.
with nuts, yeah, okay. So,
Garen's like, I can do my anaphylaxis now. Yes.
training, yeah.
Let's go.
So I ring Dad on the way, and my dad, this is exactly what it says. Dad, did you throw away the Barfi? So presupposition is throwing away. No, I didn't throw away the Barfi. Doesn't offer anything else. I'm like, okay, there's obviously something's happened to the Barfi. Shindy hasn't thrown it away. Mum's in India.
Did you look in the bin though?
I did not look in the bin. But the bin, no, to be fair though, I cleaned it come that day, so the bin's are emptied. So
Okay.
it doesn't make a difference. I'm like, where the hell is the Barfi? So then he paused and so then I said, so what happened to the Barfi?
Uh-huh.
He's like, oh right, I didn't know you were eating it, so I'll give it to the cook. The cook had been that day as well on the Friday. I did a bit of cooking.
You got a cook?
Yeah. For
Is
Indian.
this because Mum isn't here?
No, like your mum's it's like once a week for Indian stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So she'll batch cook some stuff on the weekend.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Like turke roti.
Oh, it's an
or
auntie. Oh,
roti.
that's fine then. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think,
I thought you were on about like a chef, hat,
Gordon Ramsay.
everything.
Yeah.
The full
well,
white attire.
We're building towards it. I mean, if I could have one thing, it'd be a chef.
Really?
Yeah. I think. Look, if you think about the thing, I often think about this thing where, in the context of when you look at India lifestyle, you think, we'll do it now. So gardener, masseuse, cleaner,
Masseuse.
just listen, driver, cook, personal dresser. I'm just thinking of different types of stuff people have.
kharcha.
I'm saying that's all the different types.
Yeah.
What would be your preference? Like, what would be the ones if you're gonna have
If I
one?
could
or
pick
two?
one,
Or two. Pick two.
I'd pick chef.
Yep. See? And-
100% I'd pick chef.
Chef,
And
and
then I kind of like driving, so no.
Yeah. Well, it'd probably be cleaner for me then.
Gardener, no. I think cleaner. Yeah, but I know Sanj loves cleaning, so I don't want to deprive her of that.
Okay.
I mean,
What about
she
what about
fully
things
loves
like ironing and things? And
I don't need a couple of ironing
Washing.
really. I just iron it on demand. Washing I do myself. I actually get pleasure out of washing. I enjoy it.
so fair enough. Okay, so if you secondary
Mine's
would be
just a chef then.
okay, just chef. But like I said, so if I had the hierarchy as well, definitely chef would be number one.
Yeah.
Full-time chef. You know, if you could have a variety of meals every single day,
Yeah.
both Punjabi, non-Punjabi,
Yeah.
mate, life's made.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she was enjoying, I think, a cup of tea, had some barfi, liked the barfi. Dad's like, ted rabba. That's what happened to the barfi. And
Take it and go.
they're going to go, right?
Mm.
So I was like, Dad, I was really enjoying that barfi. He was like, I didn't know you felt so strongly about the barfi. I was like, I was looking forward to that barfi. I opened that fridge, there was nothing. And
It's the hope that kills you.
the hope, yeah.
It's
fine.
the hope that kills you
It's fine.
when you open that
Dad
fridge
knows
and
now.
expect something.
Dad knows. And then, but initially, when he said, I said, all right, okay, you give the barfi away. I'm going to give you a beer away and see what happens now.
Oh, Karen got petty.
It was so funny. He's like, I'll get you some more barfi. I was like, no, this is the best barfi I've ever tasted. It's only from one shop in Nottingham. So I'm going to go down. I'm going to get some more barfi. I'm going next week, actually. I'm going to make sure I get some of that.
Like
barfi.
it.
Love it. So that was the Confessions of a Married Man for me this week. What is yours, Indy?
Very proud of you. Very proud of you. So mine is, let me just check how we did the time. We're doing all right. All right. So mine is, I listened to a podcast, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we've been trying to we approach people, obviously, for guests. One of them spent like a good day drafting a message to Jaspreet Singh, aka Minority Mindset. Yeah. You know the guy, financial advice, etc., all that stuff online. I sent that message to him, got no reply. I was like, Jello, I shoot my shot. It's okay. Shot my shot, maybe. I don't know. Either way, I sent the message, got no reply. I probably flooded with DMs. Who knows? Cool. Then I thought, whatever, it's cool. Then I popped up on Instagram that he'd been on Jay Shetty's podcast. Now, you know my thoughts on Jay Shetty. I'm like...
You like some of his stuff?
I like some, but then on the other hand, people have called him a fraud. And I'm like, I haven't made my mind up on him yet.
What's the basis of he's a fraud?
He basically just copies him. Everyone says, I'm not saying I agree with this, but they say he basically plagiarizes other people's ideas, palms them off on his own, says really generic stuff, and then that's it. And then treats it as if it's like massively enlightening shit.
But right? in the personal development space, who doesn't do that?
Huh?
Who doesn't do that in the personal development space?
I know that, right? And he's obviously got the number one. I think at the start of his episode, he said like, the number one mental health podcast, and I was like,
really?
Talk about riding it, man. Fair play. If you're gonna announce it, I don't hear Rogan out there saying, you know, number one podcast in the world. But Jello, thank you for knocking the carpet, by the way, and the mics. I really appreciate that.
That was unintentional, but my leg was.
That was
100%
intentional.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Okay.
So anyway, I was like, let me have a listen. I listened to it, and he blew my mind for like an hour.
In a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way. Okay.
Yeah. The guest did.
Jaspreet.
Not Jay.
Not Jay.
The Jay was very... When you listen to someone of the same caliber of like...
Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Absolutely smashes life, yeah.
Because
he has the interview technique on point.
And he also preps hard.
He preps hard.
Like he knows, like you come there, you've written a book.
You want to know something I've just realised?
Go on.
Completely fucked up and got this in the wrong segment. But it's cool. Basically, this segment now is all about a discussion topic for this week. It's called Have You Heard? Completely fucked it. So this is Have You Heard?
So we'll come back to the other bit.
As you can tell, this is a work in progress.
Absolutely.
So here we go. Yeah, so going back to it, this is what he's saying, right? He's saying, okay, Jaspreet says you need to do this for like your investment side of things and how to invest in things. He said like there's 4 ways of investing, right? Spiritual, mental, health. Physical, and then the last one was money. Yeah. Money, health, right? And I was like, okay. But the stuff he was saying was about, you know, if you leave your money in your bank account, it's not in line with inflation, so you're making less money. You need to invest slowly, bit by bit, periodically, consistently for years. Correct. And then you generate wealth. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I agree. That's it. Now, the way he was explaining it, he explained it in very basic terms that allowed even someone like me, who's not financially literate at all, even though I worked in banking, right? I understood it. I understood everything you said, right? Okay. That's right. The banking, people that are investing on your behalf, no, absolutely. No fuck all, right? So yeah, there we go. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, he dropped a lot of advice, but then there's a disconnect between him and Jay, which is, I don't know if Jay was able to be on the same level and dive deeper into questions. Maybe there was a time limit. Maybe it was heavily edited. I don't know.
As in, you found Jay very passive?
Not passive, as in he didn't bring much to the conversation of what he was talking about. So let's say if Rogan has a scientist on, he asks the basic questions that people who aren't scientists need to know
to get you to level.
to get everyone on a similar level.
Right, and then
because Jaspreet had already done that, maybe he felt like he didn't need to. But then even dropping in a bit of like things that you've done, he did do that in fairness in places. But maybe he wanted to keep it concise and just about the guest. I'm not sure. But I just noticed a big gulfing difference between a really good interviewer and having a really good guest. Having a really good guest can really carry you at times. Yeah. But being a good interviewer with a good guest is a recipe for complete magic. But you just don't know sometimes if you're going to get there, if you're going to hit it.
Rogan and Joe and Jordan Peterson, man. For me, that's like magic, baby.
But either way, I was very impressed with what Jaspreet was saying. Okay. And I signed up to his newsletter after to learn about the financial day-to-day movements in life in layman terms. Good. I recommend it. I read it earlier today and I was like, it's a 5-minute read. Instead of scrolling on Twitter incessantly on the toilet break, open that, have a little look.
5 minutes. I mean, see, something tangible like that.
Literally a 5-minute read.
Something like that is tangible.
Yeah.
Right? Which means you can be consistent with it. You're more likely to do it. Otherwise, like you have all these things that we want to do, and it's overload of podcasts and YouTube videos, and you're just like, how much can I, consume content wise?
Yeah.
But when you get something like that, which is chunk size, perfect.
It's
man.
chunk size. It's easy to read. It makes sense, and he's written it in basic terms.
So you got it
compared to when you jump onto like a financial news website.
Yeah,
There's so many different like
terminology,
acronyms and
jargon,
terms and shit you just don't understand. It's basically made for people that are like the 1% that understand all this or have been taught it. So yeah, I was really impressed, and I was really.
Did you read it on the toilet?
Huh?
Did you read it on the toilet?
Today, I read a little bit of it on the toilet and a little bit of it when I got back to my mum's earlier.
I'm finding that's a good time for me to read these types of things.
But it's also a time where you can burn time very easily. Toilet time's dangerous, man. You can burn time easily.
Yeah.
You can sit there and play a game for like 10 minutes. You can sit there and do Wordle for 10 minutes. You don't know, man.
Okay, fine. These are things I don't do, so that's why I don't have that issue.
No, I do it, man, 100%.
Yeah, don't play any games on my phone. I think I'm beyond
the only game I play now is Wordle and Quordle. That's it.
What?
So Quordle is Wordle.
What rip-off is that?
It's Wordle 4 times.
Yeah.
In 4 segments, and you get 9 attempts.
Right.
If I did that with you now, it'd take us a good half an hour, because you're not just doing one word for one Wordle. You're doing it for 4 at once, and you only get 9 goes. So you have to think strategically of where you're going to put each letter to match each different one.
Was it made by the same people who made Wordle?
No, it's the next level up from it.
Does it compare to?
It's a semi-competitor. They took the idea and made it a bit more harder.
Right. Okay.
So,
you're like, I do Wordle and then I do Quordle.
I do Quordle. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Depends on the day, innit? Depends on the day.
Okay.
But yeah.
Fine.
Recognize the difference between the two. Having a massive podcast like that obviously opens doors to you for people who are going to come on because you've got that platform already in place, and because you're able to give them a tangible benefit.
Absolutely.
Doesn't necessarily mean that you are good at what you do. Sometimes people on the up and up could potentially be better skilled or better placed to have those conversations.
But you don't have the reach.
But they don't have the reach.
How do you find Stephen Bartlett?
I'm torn, man.
You are torn with everything, aren't you?
Because a couple of guests he has I really like and I really enjoyed.
Jimmy Carr?
I really enjoyed. James Smith, I really enjoyed. Like, a few of them I really enjoy. But then other ones... Again, he can be a good interviewer when he wants to, but sometimes he's very passive and just lets the guests ramble. Like he had this guy on about happiness, right?
Mo Godot.
No, Ali. No,
Mo Godot.
Is it him? He came on twice.
The Egyptian guy, the engineer.
Came on twice.
The formula for happiness.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
The second time he came on,
I haven't seen so.
I was listening to it and I was like, I'm lost, because he rambled and went down random directions.
Rabbit holes. Oh,
and I was like, what's this got to do with happiness? Like, I'm here.
You're like, I'm not happy. I'm stressed.
Yeah, I'm here to hear the secret to happiness. Yeah. Right. You're telling me about some random flight you got on that affected this, that, and the other. And I'm like, listen, mate, don't care. Just tell me the fucking recipe, innit? Right? In the quickest way possible. So I kind of just checked out. And with him, I don't know, it seemed like every guest he had on, they were all bursting into tears. Like loads of them just got emotional. Yeah. And I was like, oh man,
that's what I
don't think I'm in the right place to hear like something emotional today. I just want to hear something that's going to be good.
Lighter. Yeah,
like a little bit lighter. So I kind of just phased away, and I'm more into like the clips now. So if you put
I'm more specific about who I listen to. But to be fair, I'm the same with Rogan as well. I want to listen to every guest, but
I listen to Rogan and comedians now, because him and comedians have very good
that's a good energy.
Conversations.
Yeah.
And it's like happy and funny. So I'm like, I'll listen to that.
That's a good combination.
Yeah.
But
yeah. All right. What's the segment called, Karan?
This is called The Dr Chronicles.
Returned, but revamped.
Turn off the Mac.
It's not just Karan talking shit.
Yeah.
It's actually going to be beneficial for people.
Useful stuff, guys.
So basically, beneficial stuff that people need to know just about health, because he has a USP, and I feel like I should lean on it a little bit.
I love that. He knows a little bit about something.
He knows a little bit about something. That's a really good tag for you. He knows a little bit about something. That's all doctors, isn't it, really? You know a little bit about something.
I know a little bit about something.
There we go. That's it. WebMD. He knows a little bit about WebMD. Anyway.
I know how to read Wikipedia.
And WebMD.
More accurately than most. That's basically it.
All right. So give me the sketch. What's the rundown for this segment?
So, as in you on the story. Yeah.
Yes.
So, guys, last week I was heading into town to collect some tailoring
What's town for those that aren't from Birmingham?
Town. So Warsaw Town.
See, you had to clarify that. Warsaw Town. I thought
Yeah.
Birmingham Town.
Oh, no. Well, it's one
Which,
of the things.
Londoners call Central, but I don't. Even though we do
Oh
have
my
a place
God, if I
there
start
called...
calling Warsaw Central.
Even though we do have things called Grand Central. But yes.
Yeah, Grand Central.
Grand
It's not that
Central.
grand. So going into Warsaw Town Centre,
Uh-huh.
which, is pretty run down, to be honest. But if you can avoid going to Birmingham and you have places and people
You take it.
you take it. Like, I build relationships with quite a few people there, so I can still get a lot of things done. One of those things is my tailor. So my tailor is a really, really cool guy. He's a guy called Lee. He runs Peacock Tailoring. Shout out to him. Does great work. If you want a recommendation, he's the guy to go to.
Yeah.
Fast work, always excellent work. So with Shindy, I'm driving in the car to get the clothes. As we're approaching the bit where we're going to park the car, which is close to it, we see a man lying on the floor. When I say on the floor, in the middle of the road, looks like he's spark out.
Were you driving?
Yeah, I was driving. So you remember? Do you remember the games? That wrestling game we used to play, SmackDown. Was it called SmackDown?
Yeah.
Right. Do you remember SmackDown? Once you did the finisher and somebody's KO,
Lying flat.
just spread out
And you
arms
can
and
just
legs.
pin him and it's a 1-2-3 win.
Exactly. Instead of like the breathing, this is just you're gonna get the three, right?
Yeah.
He's like that.
Oh, God. Okay.
He is KO, man.
Someone
So-
laid the SmackDown on him, clearly.
Someone like SmackDown this dude. So I'm driving there, and obviously I don't want to run him over. So I have to go past him to pull up to park where I'm going to park anyway. So I go really slowly so as not to run him over. And I can see that other people are starting to come as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I am going to work later this day as well. Obviously, don't carry medical equipment with me. I've just got basic stuff. I don't think I even had my steth that day. It was at home.
Stethoscope.
Stethoscope.
I know a little bit about everything too.
Good
Anyway.
man. But I've got some people there. So if somebody's on the phone, I presume they're ringing for an ambulance. You've got a resident coming out. You've got the security man coming. So there's stuff happening, right? I'm just thinking, should I do the teaching part now? I'll do the teaching part now.
Yeah, go on.
So when you find someone like that, the first thing you need to identify is, are they breathing? It's really that simple. Okay.
How'd you check that?
I'll tell you that in a second. So what I'm going to share with you now, guys, is an approach, what we call BLS, basic life support. In hospitals, we use ILS, intermediate, and ALS, advanced life support, because obviously we have all the gear, right? And we have everything we can do, ventilators, X, Y, Z. But obviously when you're out on the street, the most amount of kit you're going to get pre-ambulance is going to be a defib.
Yeah.
If you've got one. Okay. So defib, guys, the AED, automatic electric defibrillator.
Yeah.
Okay. So checking for breathing. So essentially what you do is, and they always teach you, first thing to do actually before you help anybody is check for signs of danger. Is your life going to be at risk? So like a really extreme example, being in a war zone, for example.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Got
So
it.
like
Yeah,
someone's
yeah.
shooting at you.
Yeah.
You might want to help somebody, but
You
are
don't
you
want to
going to
stay
be... Yeah, are you going to be harmed because of that?
Yeah.
So check for danger, signs of danger, other cars. So I had Shindy doing traffic control. So she put the hazards on our
Seriously?
car. Yeah. She was there like directing traffic so that
Smart
she could go down one side. I had another guy said, right, what I want you to do is start your watch
Yeah.
or make a note of the time. So whenever at this point, I still don't know what's happening, but whenever something like this happens, always in hospital as well, you always need to know the downtime.
Yeah.
All right. So you only know that if you know the start time or stopwatch. So I said, you start the time, you get on the phone, the ambulance. When it's ready, give me the phone, it's on loudspeaker. You go and find some water.
Yeah.
So I gave everyone basic jobs. All right. So you have to, so I assume the role of a leader. So when we have a cardiac arrest, that's when somebody dies in a hospital, heart stops. When we have what we call the arrest team, the team that will turn up.
Yeah.
It's designated, if we have an emergency crash bleep that we carry for this, covers anywhere in the hospital.
Yeah.
So when you get there, there's a designated team leader. So he leads while the other people are trying to put the needles in and doing the airway and whatever.
Got it. Yeah.
So I had to kind of do all of these roles, sort of, right? The first thing you do is you look for signs of breathing. Is the chest moving?
That's the first sign you look for. You don't do the...
It's not actually the pulse. No. And if you're not sure if the chest is moving, but because you can still be breathing, you actually
Very shallow.
You put your ear to the mouth and you're feeling or you're listening or
Or you
feeling
just
for 10
hoping
seconds.
to feel like a little bit of air in your ears.
10 seconds. If after 10 seconds there are no signs of breath, so we call that respiratory arrest.
Yeah.
Okay? Irrespective of the pulse or no pulse, you start compressions. That's why you start there.
Okay.
Okay. If you're starting compressions on somebody, we're doing a ratio of 30-2. So 30 chest compressions. So you're going to go with this kind of position. You're going to go. So you've got your sternum, which is the breastbone here. You go to the base of that, what we call the Ziffy sternum, so the solar plexus.
It'd be really beneficial if you watch this on video. That's
Absolutely.
a shout out to YouTube. and to Spotify video. So have a look. If not, I'll do my best to describe. Basically, Karan's pointing towards his chest.
So chest, breastbone, solar plexus, the bit where you get winded.
Yeah.
And you want to have this thing straight armed, and you want to go for compressions.
Across all three things.
No. I'm just saying you count down as soon as you get down to there.
So you want to get to the bit where your abdominals kind of finish.
Abdominal start.
Sorry. Yeah, so I'm talking about... sorry, I'm thinking the wrong way around. Okay, yeah. So where your abdominals start, you want to press there.
Absolutely.
Not on the heart, you want to press like there.
Just there. The heart is behind there.
Oh, is it? I thought the heart's like...
It's a misconception. Everyone thinks the heart's on the left and all this.
Isn't it?
No, the heart's in the middle of the body.
So why does it always feel like something?
It just does it feel like that, does it?
It does, you know.
It's because, so when you feel for your pulse, the strongest beat, like I'm feeling for it now. So in a man, your left-hand side, just under your nipple, we call that the apex. That's the strongest point generally for a heartbeat. That's why we think it's there. But the heart is in the middle.
Oh, mad.
So compressions.
Learned something new today. All right.
30-2 ratio, 2 rescue breaths. That's
30-2.
30 compressions, 2 rescue breaths, mouth to mouth.
Right.
Right. You're trying to give the body the impetus to essentially
breathe. What if their breath is like horrible?
Yeah, you either do it or you don't do it. It's one of the things you got to commit. Now, when we're in hospital, we have a mask which you can put on and then breathe. So the other side is like a mouthpiece, and then the other bit sits on the person. So you're not actually going lip to lip.
How was that during COVID? I was thinking they definitely invented that during COVID, isn't it?
No, it's an old thing.
Is it?
Yeah, that's been going on for time. And then you start CPR. Now, in that time, if you've got access to defib pads, the AED, you put them on, and then you follow what it says.
So no one's going to have that on the street, though, isn't it?
Well, there's businesses close by.
You reckon businesses have it cash, like sitting there waiting?
Yeah, some should do. Some it's a requirement. I don't think any businesses here need it. I mean, we didn't need it anyway.
Yeah.
Had we needed it, then I would have asked, for a runner to look at the businesses, see if you've got it, obviously on the phone to ambulance. And then you just listen. Here's a key thing. Once you put the crash pads on, and on the diagram, it shows you where to put the position of the crash pads.
Hang on. Why would you put the crash pads on now? This is if you've done the 32.
That's continuous.
And there's no response.
No. You keep.
Oh, so that carries on.
Yeah.
Clarification.
Good clarification. You still put them on. So once you follow the diagram, crash pad. So one here. Essentially, what you're trying to do is when you deliver the shock, it's across. The heart needs to be in between.
Yeah.
Okay. Follow the diagram.
Also, it pushes the shock into your chest.
Yeah, through the heart.
Your chest.
It has to go through the heart. They're obviously trying to shock the heart. That's the whole point.
Yeah, but obviously, it makes sense if you're doing left side, right side, because the heart's in the center. So you're shocking on both sides to get it going.
Correct. Yeah, it's not. You put one on the side and you put one sort of there.
I like my theory better, but okay.
But I understand what you're saying. But like I said, on the box there'll be a diagram. You follow the position, then you follow the machine. It'll either say shock advised, so you charge, you get everyone back and you deliver a shock, or it's going to say continue CPR.
Yeah.
So here's where it gets a little bit technical. So in films, they show this wrong all the time. In a film, they'll show you that the old American style where you do shock.
Yeah.
You can shock anything.
Yeah.
In real life, you can't. There are what we call shockable rhythms. So if the heart is in a certain dangerous rhythm that is amenable to a shock, you can shock it. And then the other side, you have what we call the unshockable rhythms. You can't shock. So for example, again, in films, completely wrong. When you have a flat line, beep, when the person's dead, we call that asystole. The heart is stopped. You're completely dead. That is cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
That is not a shockable rhythm. You cannot deliver a shock to a heart that's completely stopped.
Can't you?
No. Again, misconception.
Mad.
Right? Misconception. Now, this will blow your mind. I teach this to medical students.
I think you already have, man.
I teach this to medical students all the time, and they're just like, what? So I'll ask you the question. I'm going to ask the viewers the question. What is the point of CPR? Why do you do CPR?
Pause. Comment.
Don't look.
Tell us, please.
Yeah.
What's the reason for CPR? And then check your answer in 3, 2, 1. Okay, go.
No, I'm asking you.
Oh shit, my answer.
Yeah.
What's the point of CPR?
Why do you do CPR?
To resurrect someone.
As in, what are you trying to do to the heart?
Restart it. Get it going again.
Yeah, that's actually the right answer.
Oh yes.
Sort of.
I went to too many medic sessions, baby.
Yeah. So I have to there actually. Most people get that wrong because what they think is this thing that's taught is, well, the heart is stopped. The function of the heart is to pump blood around the body. By compressing it, you're manually pushing some of that blood to the brain and
Clearly
to the parts.
You can't.
You do to a degree. Because remember, again, this is downtime. The problem with downtime, or what we worry about, is lack of oxygen to the brain long enough.
Means you have a stroke.
Exactly. So then you become, you can become a vegetable. It can be lots of things that can happen from that. We're trying to minimize the time between death, cardiac arrest, and what we call ROSC. ROSC is an acronym for return of spontaneous circulation, i.e. your heart's pumping again.
Yeah.
So we always say time to ROSC. Okay. That's the term we use, right? The point of CPR is to remember, because when you're doing it because somebody's in an unshockable rhythm.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get them from an unshockable rhythm to a shockable rhythm.
Right.
That's the point of CPR, because if I can shock them, the chance of that ROSC, i.e. the heart coming back to normal, is much higher. That's the reason you do CPR. Real life examples. So Raj, who we both know.
Yeah.
We did CPR on him.
Yeah.
Ambulance crew arrived. He was then in a shockable rhythm, which meant he could then be shocked.
Right. So because you kept blood going around the body through CPR, as much as you could, when they shocked, it was then able to have an impact.
Correct.
If you didn't do that,
if they got there and put the pads on,
they would have had to have done CPR first and then do that.
Or continued, exactly. And then it's increasing that downtime.
Yeah, so you probably have a larger window for potential failure.
Absolutely. I mean, look, the rate of successful ROSC in a healthy 21-year-old outside of hospital, or maybe no, inside hospital, is still only 20%.
Still low, man.
Yeah. No, again, things you see in films and what you think is, everyone who gets CPR is going to come back to life.
They're all good.
Everyone we shot comes back. No, man.
Yeah.
It's really low. And that's
why do you think they do that, for a dramatic effect?
I have no idea, man. It just looks cool on screen.
Well, seeing the body go, boom.
Yeah.
I mean, don't forget the slow-mo.
Oh man, you know what someone told me once? This is a bit dark, but so we had some guys come over from Pakistan, some doctors, and they were saying how like they're working in. They're like, "Oh, your equipment's amazing," and I was like, "Oh, what do you mean?" He goes, "Oh, sometimes there was once a patient and they had the crash pads on, but the battery had died, and in Pakistan, like the family like watches when you're resuscitating. Like in the UK, be like, sorry, can't go beyond this point. We need to carry on. We'll come speak to you, right?" He was like, they just watch there, like you can't stop them type of thing. And he goes, one time we wanted to deliver the shock, but there's no battery, so they just like pushed the patient a little bit. They shook the patient to make it look like the shock had been delivered.
My god!
Yeah, and I was just like, I
oh,
was like, this is unreal, man. I was like, this is like I couldn't even comprehend what you're saying.
Fuck me, that's so scary. Imagine that level of fraudulent activity, doing that in front of someone.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, there's obviously that side, the unethical side there. And
that's fully unethical.
Yeah. It wasn't him. It wasn't this person directly. It was just something he'd seen.
Yeah, but still.
But then there's the other side. It's like, oh my god, you don't have the equipment. Like you can't deliver healthcare without equipment. Yeah. And then I remember somebody, and I don't remember which country this was, but he was like, some people really have no idea and are very gullible, and they once got told they put the patient in an elevator from the first floor to the third floor, and the patient thought going up in the elevator was a CT scan. That's what they were told. The movement of the elevator was the scan.
Was that to make sure? Was that because the patient had kicked up so much of a fuss they wanted a scan?
No. I don't know what it is. I think basically they're scamming them, and they still charge them. Oh my! They're like, yeah, you've had your scan done, and all they did was stuck him in the elevator. And I was like,
I just showed them a generic scan, saying, "Oh,
yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine.
Have a look at this. Everything's completely kosher."
Top, right? So yeah, that was pretty. Anyway, I digress. This dude was breathing.
Okay. So you administered CPR. So you didn't need to administer CPR.
Absolutely. So then
you put him in recovery.
That's the next thing to do. So yes, I would put him in recovery, but I did a quick what we call A to E assessment. AT being the vowels. Oh, sorry, not the vowels. So A is airway. Is the airway clear? Mm-hmm. This is the order of priority. Okay. So if somebody's choking or
clear the
obstructed airway, you have to clear the airway first, which is why you put the head back. I'm going to come away from the mic now, but you put the head back and you do a jaw thrust and a chin lift. What you're trying to do is, if the tongue is obstructing the airway, you're trying to move out of the way so there's a clear airway. That's all I can do in terms of without equipment.
Yeah.
B is breathing.
Okay.
So that's the second one. So airway clear. Is the patient breathing? Is the chest moving?
Yeah.
If I've got a stethoscope, I'm listening for breath sounds.
Yeah.
Okay. C, circulation. Is there a central pulse? So you can look at a peripheral pulse, which is your radial pulse.
Yeah.
And obviously you got your carotid in your neck now.
Yeah.
These are rules of thumb. If you've got a peripheral pulse, a radial pulse, your blood pressure, your top number systolic is at least 90. Okay. If you've got a central pulse, it's at least 60. So again, if you're out in the field, this is like what we call preclinical medicine, and you haven't got access to a blood pressure machine, this is how you're working it out.
So if your neck is 60 and your wrist is 90.
Yeah, so if you haven't got a wrist one, but you've got a central one, then you're like, oh,
that means you're really low.
Yeah, but exactly, yeah. So you could be bleeding out, could be septic.
Which is more important, the top number or number beneath?
In this scenario, when somebody, it's
potentially
it's a top number.
CPR, top number.
Yeah.
The top number being neck.
No, when I say top number, I just mean when you take a blood pressure, you get two numbers.
Yeah, but obviously in the field, which one are you more
Yeah, no, it's only of the top number you're feeling. You never feel bottom number.
Oh, okay, fine. So even the neck and theoretically the neck and the wrist should be given the same pulse rate.
Yeah. The pulse rate might be the same, but can you get it? Yeah, they will be. If I take your pulse here, and take it there, the number should be the same.
Oh, okay, right.
What I'm saying is that if I can't feel a pulse here, but I can feel a pulse there, then I know it's at least 60, because if it was here, it would be at least 90. So you're much more unwell. But if I can feel your radial pulse, blood pressure at least 90, I'm much happier.
You're okay. Yeah, got it.
Yeah?
Okay, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So one is more responsive than the other. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's a bigger artery here. It's closer to your brain.
Right, so big artery in your neck.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Look, if you haven't got what we call a central pulse, you're dead anyway. Your heart's stopped, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the ways when we verify death in a hospital, we have to do the 5 checks on somebody to actually say
that's
they're dead.
A, B, that was C?
That was C. And then D is what we call disability.
Okay.
So within D, it's various things, but the main thing being, if you're diabetic, are you having a hypo? Is your blood sugar low?
Yeah.
We have this thing which is DEFG. Don't ever forget blood glucose, or don't ever forget the glucose. That's an extra acronym. And then E is everything else. So ideally,
that's a nice little umbrella.
Ideally, what you're doing is now, like in hospitals, we get a medical scissors. We want to make sure: have you broken anything? Is there a bone sticking out? Are you bleeding anywhere? Is there a rash? Is there a hole? Everything else. So you're doing what we call a survey, primary and secondary surveys. You're looking to see, is there anything else going on?
For a random person on the street, they ain't gonna know that.
No.
So again, all they're gonna know is just
basic life support. No breathing, start CPR.
Yeah.
Breathing, recovery position, call for help.
What's the recovery position?
Right. So the recovery position is when you put somebody in what we call the left lateral position. Okay.
So on their left ear.
On their left, right, and you put the right hand will go under their left ear, and then you get the right leg over. So the knee is up towards the chest, where the left leg is extended. Essentially,
so you pull your right leg up, left knee down.
Yeah, left leg is straight, but the right knee is towards the chest, but you're all on the left-hand side.
Right. And why are you doing that?
So this recovery position is all about, if somebody, again, one of the risks is if they vomit, then the vomit could go in the wrong pipe, i.e. the windpipe, the trachea, go into your lungs, cause pneumonia. You might choke on it as well. So if they're going to vomit in that position, you're much more likely for the vomit to go and not obstruct your airway.
Why is it left side, not right side?
So that's a bit more technical. That's more to do with your actual airways themselves.
Right.
So the airways are not... So when your windpipe comes down and it splits into two, we call that bifurcation.
Yeah.
It's not exactly the same angle.
Okay.
So by putting them in this position, if they are going to aspirate, it goes down the wrong pipe, it's harder for them to aspirate when they're on that side.
Oh, okay. So it does make a difference. Okay.
It does make a difference, yes. So we put this guy in the recovery position. Yeah, that's what we did. He was talking though. So they've got the ambulance on the crew, and whenever you're speaking to an ambulance crew, they're going to ask you, is he breathing? That's the first question they'll ask as well. Obviously, I'm medically trained, so I did what we call a
full breakdown assessment.
Yes, it's S-bar. That's it. S-bar is the way medically professionals hand over to each other.
Yeah.
So relaying information.
So you did that to them. You're like, this is what's happened. Bam, bam, bam.
Situation, background, assessment, review, response, or recommendation. That's what the R is. My conclusion was, so this guy had a bag with him, which looked like he had alcohol in there. He's a youngish guy. He was in his mid-30s. His pupils are very constricted. So pupil constriction you normally get with an opiate overdose, like morphine. Yeah. Right. So I asked him what medicines you on. He said I'm on codeine, cocodamol. So when I tested his eyes, I shone light into his eyes. You're expecting a pupil response.
Use your iPhone for that?
I use my iPhone for that. Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Got to use what you can get. Yeah, it works. And his pupils are very, very small. That could be normal for him. I don't know this gentleman. Yeah. But I was like, okay, that's one. Number two, he's got a big sweat patch on his back. So when you take uppers, so certain drugs like amphetamine, speed, things like that.
They make you just go bam.
They make you sweat a lot. Right, MDMA, that's the other one. So I'm like, okay, it wasn't a particularly hot day. So is he sweating because his heart rate is really fast? He's tachycardic. We did take his pulse, it was about 80. A guy had a blood pressure machine, came and did it, it was like 120. So numbers wise, he was okay. He just looked like he was pissed essentially. So he's drunk, plus or minus taking an overdose or something. But he spark out. Put him in a recovery position, spoke to the ambulance, said, look, he needs an assessment, but it's not a cardiac arrest. So Sanj always tells us, the categories.
The categories of importance.
So Cat 1 is the most important. I don't think there's a Cat 0. I don't think so. But Cat 1 is,
Yeah, so dead. Is this like category?
This is like a 4 or 5.
4, okay.
Yeah, 4 or 5. He needs assessment. And they were like, okay, we'll send somebody, but there's obviously a wait. So I'm there waiting with this gentleman. He then decides that he wants to take a piss. So he gets up, 2 of us help him up. We ask this close by business, can we use your bathroom to get everything ready? We turn around, he's pissing in the corner. As you do. When you need to go, man. But again, And then the other thing I forgot to mention, when I do the ABCD, as part of D, we do something to assess somebody's neurological status.
Yeah.
So the quick version of that is what we call an AVPU. Alert, verbal response only, response to pain, unresponsive. So alert is you speaking to me now.
Yeah.
Verbal will be like, Indy, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you. Verbal. Indy, can you hear me? You say nothing, but I start pinching you or doing what we call a sternal rub, and you go, ah. So you're responding to pain. That's a P. U is unresponsive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a quick version of doing it. There's a more formal version, which is called the GCS.
Yeah.
Okay, so that stands for Glasgow Coma Scale. It's a score out of 15. You right now are 15 out of 15.
Yeah.
The lowest you can be is a 3, which is you score, there's 3 sections, and you score 1, 1, 1.
Right.
Which gives you a score of 3. His GCS was fine. He's speaking to me. He's following commands. He's moving all his limbs independently.
Did he go in the ambulance in the end?
No. Oh, here's the next part. He did a piss and he ran off. So then...
What a fucking waste.
So he had a pair of glasses, which he left there. So I ran after him. I ran like half a road just to... Mate, here's your glasses. He lived close by, he said. Yeah. And I was like, look, you should be assessed medically. But he had capacity. I couldn't pin him down. Then I had to ring the ambulance to de-escalate and say, look, we don't need the ambulance. And that was it. And I carried on to collect my tailoring. All in a day's work, mate. And then I went to work afterwards.
And you went to work to do the real thing.
Yeah. So
people that need it.
So you never know, right? So just guys have a like a base level of knowledge. Always in these situations, don't try and be a hero.
So exactly. I was going to say in summary, don't try and be a fucking hero. If you don't know,
call for help.
Escalate
but then quickly.
Put them straight in the recovery position, like as a minimum. Is that a minimum you should do?
Yeah. But if they're not breathing, start CPR.
If you don't CPR, even know, if you're not comfortable giving CPR, then you've got to do like the turnover.
You can do it. It's not going to do anything. Then you CPR. But yes, the other thing is if you're going to commence CPR, remember you're going to get tired at some point. So professionally, obviously in hospitals, we have like your first change, second change, third change. Like we have a system. You ready? Need a break? Right? You jump on. So there should be minimal time.
How hard do you do it?
You do it hard. So if you're doing CPR properly, you should be breaking a rib.
Breaking a rib?
Sternum. Yeah.
Fuck, man. You guys are brutal.
No, but this is the thing. And when I have discussions with people, so you'll know, indeed, that in hospitals, look, we have an aging population, right?
Yeah.
There are some very, very frail people coming to hospital. Now, the default is that everybody gets CPR.
Sometimes they ask you don't want to do the resuscitation because it'll be too painful.
Exactly. Yeah, well, so it's more to do, I mean, when we put that slant on it, we think somebody's too frail and we think the outcomes, that even if we got ROSC, remember return of spontaneous circulation, i.e. you're alive, is your quality of life
going to be...
Exactly. Are you now a vegetable? Are you now going to never leave the bed?
So this is what they told, I think they agreed this with my grandma when she was on the end of life, I think. I might be making this up or I might be getting this mixed up with Med-X, I don't know.
No, she was palliative at the end, you told me, because she had the pain medicines and
she was on everything. And they were like, we're not going to resuscitate.
So that's
I think there was a DNR.
That's it, a DNA CPR. That's the
is it DNR?
DNAR is the short, and then the DNA CPR is the full.
Yeah.
Do not attempt resuscitation.
Yeah.
And yes, in Med-X you would have seen us teaching students.
I have. Hence why I'm not sure if I'm mixing up a memory here. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I can't remember where we spoke.
Don't be a hero. Minimum CPR administration.
Yes, sorry. So when you're doing CPR, if you're out on the street, then identify, guys, is anybody else CPR trained?
Yeah.
If you're happy to do CPR, then, so you know that you're the first change, second change. Do what you can do. Because one thing that always has stuck with me, which has helped me, is look, when somebody is dead, anything that you do is a bonus. They're already at 0. Okay, so don't...
Also, if they're dead in front of you, anything you do on top is just bringing them back.
Well... As in the attempt, the attempt is that, but I'm saying they can't get any worse.
Well,
the reason why you say that is because sometimes it's obviously a very stressful thing to deal with.
Yeah, it's a big responsibility.
When somebody is unwell but they're still awake and alive, it's stressful, right?
Yeah.
When somebody's dead, it becomes a whole different level of stress.
Yeah.
Right? And in that scenario, you always have to think, okay, look, they're already dead. It can't get any worse, as it were. So be methodical. When you run what we call an arrest call, it's all about being methodical.
Yeah.
You want to take out the emotion and you want to go through the steps, and it's all about constant reevaluation, because we have to resuscitate, which is trying to get you back, but at the same time we're trying to work out what's caused it as well.
Yeah.
Real time.
Yeah.
So is it this, right? Do this test, and it's super, super quick, and all in the space of either you'll get them back or they'll pass away. So
respect, man. That is the
Dr Chronicle this week.
There you go. That's a weekly chronicle. Weekly Chronicle. Ooh, like it.
It's a lot of pressure, isn't it?
Okay,
I don't think there'll be action packed as that, guys, every week.
No, it won't.
But stuff I see in hospitals, I will share with you, and I'll give you a few little,
Little
nuggets
pointers,
and
man.
tips,
Pointers
things
are
you can
important.
do.
Like little tips and pointers.
Yeah, like why we do CPR.
Or things to be aware
Very
of.
important.
Or symptoms or whatever. Like
Yeah,
stuff like that's helpful.
That's a
So
good
we'll
one.
do that next week.
absolutely.
End of that segment. We'll jump straight into the next one. Last segment we round it out with is I have a question. So my wife told me that I say something a lot. Phrases, I have a question. So my question this week, I'm going to start it. I have a question. Why is helping your parents with technical things so painstakingly difficult to the point where it actually makes you want to scream?
You seem to have a lot of
Bad history with this.
wind-up tension, though. Indeed, you want to be more specific?
Let's go through it, man. All right, so I know that if my mum calls me with a problem with a computer, I'm not going to fix it on the phone. I know someone has to be there in person.
Physically, remote, not possible.
They have to do a troubleshoot.
Not a FaceTime.
No. Ronnie Chung he gave like a really good comedic skit on this. And watch it on YouTube. Type in Ronnie Chung mum computer and it'll come up, and it's one of the greatest skits. Me and you are going to have a look at it afterwards. It's exactly how I feel. I'm not going to paraphrase him at all. I'm not going to do it justice. Have a look. It's great. Now, my issue is, here's an example. My mum, bless her, I love her to bits, right? She texted me today saying, I spent an hour trying to fix the printer. The printer isn't working at home. I've tried printing stuff off for me and your dad, and it's not going well. So I've given up. When you get here, we'll figure it out. I said, fine.
Okay, so it's the right escalation.
Yeah,
She didn't actually do it on the phone.
Yeah. So we got home and she said the printer isn't working. And I get there. I've seen lights on this printer I've never seen in my life. I've seen like orange lights, yellow lights. I've seen error E4. I'm like, what the hell is this?
What type of printer is it?
It's a HP DeskJet.
So it's lasers, not color.
Yeah. No, it is. It's both. It's laser and color.
Okay, but is it a toner-based printer or is it a cartridge-based printer?
Cartridge, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, I've never seen these lights before in my life. I'm like, I don't know what's happened there. And mum's like, I changed the cartridge. And I was like, there it is.
Okay.
I knew immediately it's something to do with the cartridge, right? So, and she said, like, I tried printing something, it came out like clogged, the paper kept getting stuck. And I was like, either this printer's on the blink, right? And I'm going to have to send it back or something, right? Or...
Is it a new printer?
No, we've had it for like a while, but it does play up a little bit here and there.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, maybe it's on the blink, it's old, I don't know. I look inside and she's like, I put the cartridge in. The cartridge technically was in, but it wasn't in.
In.
So it was in, but it was like in the wrong way, but it was in the printer, innit?
But she managed to get it in because normally it doesn't allow it to.
Yeah, but she got it in position. And looking at it, it looks right, but it was like a little bit bent, like a little bit off center. And I was like, that doesn't look like it's in right. So I was like, I'm going to just save myself the pain. I'm going to just jump on YouTube right now. Right? Type in YouTube, HP DeskJet number, how to cartridge change, bam.
Perfect.
And then I went, bam, 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 tap the screen 4 times, 40 seconds in, because it's 1 minute 30. I know it's in the middle. Because I got to open the door, take out the package.
Today, guys, we're going to talk about...
Yep, I know all the sketch. Bam, 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 done. I was like, oh, mum, you put it in the wrong way. And she's like, what? I said, yeah, so put it in this way. I did one, pushed it in. And you know when something has that gratifying click?
Oh,
like it goes in, it goes...
That feels like it should be there.
I'm like, that feels like it's in position. And I said, Mum, you need to do the other one because you'll know how it feels when you put it in so you can see. She's like, okay. She put it in. She's like, oh my God, that feels so much better. And I was like, yeah, lo and behold, it starts printing again straight away.
So total time from...
That took 2 minutes.
So diagnosis to fixed.
That took literally 2 minutes. But I could never do that on the phone. I couldn't. I would have torn my hair out. Yeah. Right?
No, absolutely. I think
those hair supplements I take would have been for nothing. Honestly, all right.
Definitely something in our generation. So I do the troubleshooting for the printer in our house as well.
Yeah.
And I've got to the point where I've got the manual downloaded. It's on my Google Drive. I know the page to go to. I know the color codes.
Fucking hell.
But I know, like, I have a system.
Yeah.
Plus, a lot of things in my house that need servicing or can break. I make videos of me fixing them. I've got a how-to folder.
Oi, nice.
So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to. And this is credit Ali Abdal here. He talks about how the brain is not designed to remember things.
It's not.
Right. So
I can vouch for that. I don't remember anything.
Yeah. So don't use it for that function. It's good for problem solving, being creative. So outsource that bit to somewhere else. I don't need to remember this stuff now because I've recorded the information, so it's useful to me when I need it.
So I did that today. I helped my father-in-law with his pension.
Right.
But I typed it all out in an email, what I'd done, what I'd agreed, how it all set up, and I sent it to all the family. That way,
Benefit,
everyone knows
value.
what I've done, and it's all set up. And I'm like, I'm gonna forget this by the time I'm in an hour's time.
If you do something once,
Because
people
I
are
do
gonna
so
have to
many
do
things
it.
in the day. Put it this way, right? Those of you listening, this podcast, when as soon as we filmed it, I have to listen back to it after our editor's done with it. Yeah, I have no memory of what we've spoken about. Genuinely, I can't remember. Like, I can look at my notes and I was like, we spoke about that, and then I have to look through it, go through it, and scrub through it, and treat it like a brand new episode. So that's how little my attention span extends past my short-term memory.
The brain is just
If that's attention span, whatever it is.
it's just not good at recollection
Yeah.
and retention. So absolutely, man. So that's in, and yeah. So our go-to thing will always be, have you YouTubed it? Like Dad asked me something like, have you YouTubed it? That's like our go-to thing because somebody somewhere
Yeah.
has made a hack for it.
Yeah.
And you just follow it, and it's just so easy. Like, or sometimes it's not YouTube, and I just find a list of instructions like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Do you remember how 10 years ago YouTube was not that well in that position?
You could search
Like,
for
You couldn't search it and it wouldn't appear, but now
So good.
99 times out of 100,
You'll get it. The answer.
someone's done some video linked to it. Like the plumbing issue I had, right? I found a video of someone assembling it, but I couldn't find a video of someone putting it on. But I still found something for this very specific module that goes on your plumbing thing, that goes in your boiler. And I was like, I would never have thought there's something like this on YouTube, but there is.
But there is.
It's got everything, man.
No, it's brilliant. It's useful. And then again, just archiving that.
Yeah.
You know, it's making stuff useful or making your own videos.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I recommend. And this stuff is useful. Do the hard work once, reap the benefits. It's just productivity 101, right?
Teach a man a fish.
But yeah, and I just, in each family there will be a designated tech person. So in Shindy's family, she is a tech person, so then she outsources to me. I'm like the guy in India.
You're the guy in India.
They tell her, and then
Hello.
Okay, you try this. Okay, I'll be there. And then I'll come in and, dun, 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 and then I will do the fix.
Yes.
The thing is, it tends to be really, really simple things. What I think are simple. So I don't mind that because that
It's
feeling
really
is good.
hard to not belittle the parent
Have you
and
not
then
done
show
this
them
and
this. Like, it's so difficult, but then sometimes, like when I'm with my mum, I have to like give her a bit of tough love, and then she knows how to do it in the future, and she does it by herself.
Very important.
So
thing.
for example, today we had to write an email, and I said, I know what needs to go into this email, but you need to tell me what you think needs to go in this email, and I'll type it out for you. That way you're just thinking and I'm just typing.
Exactly. What you're talking about here is about preserving independence. As our parents get older, and within our culture, there was a big thing about seva, right?
Yeah,
so serving them and helping them, and those things are great. Big thing that Jordan Peterson talks about is in care homes, for example, what we're doing is we think we're helping people by doing everything for them, but actually they become de-skilled. There's no motivation. They lose their independence quicker. Same with our parents. Aiding is fine, but actually it's more the coaching
aiding, man. It's not doing, it's aiding.
Right. It's the coaching of, so when I'm not here, can you do this?
Can you do this?
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's, again, just maintaining their independence.
Yeah.
So often for me, it's things like the CCTV, the alarm.
Yeah.
Sometimes mom or dad might get like logged out or whatever.
Yeah.
I say, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up in a way where you can access information in a phone securely, your phones.
Yeah.
So you know login details. You don't need to rely on me if I'm not here. I can. Thing is, most things are set up in a way where I can do everything remotely.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't need to. In the scenario,
Should be good to go.
Yeah. So everything should have contingency. I love contingency.
There is that. I like that.
Fail-safes.
Yeah.
You know, you should build in these systems and process.
There's that, but also
If you're a parent,
when my dad gets a new phone,
setup कर दे. In the video, जेरे मेरे contact है ना.
Sachi, I sit there and I'm like,
phone ते पा दे.
I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I tell myself I can't do it because I know it's just going to be painstaking process after painstaking process.
Again, I outsource this. Shindy's dad, iPhone 13. I said, Dad, we're going to go to the Apple store. You're going to buy the iPhone 13. I said, you work at the Genius store. Come here, please.
You come in, please.
Right.
You need to get everything from this
Dad,
phone to this phone.
And it was so interesting that day because so Dad and Shindy had to do some shopping.
Did Dad have an Android?
No, he had an iPhone.
I would love to have seen them do Android to Apple because they'll probably say we
God.
don't touch Android.
It still took 4 hours, man.
What?
3 hours, yeah.
Oh,
So-
because you have to back it up and put it in.
But
That's why.
I don't know how much stuff he had on WhatsApp. Dad basically doesn't delete anything, and he had all this stuff. He's like, I knew I must have my forwarded 100 videos on WhatsApp.
Yeah, of course, man.
And basically, so I stayed in the store, used a new Mac, got my work done. while they went shopping.
Yeah.
Well, we're just waiting for this thing to transfer.
Yeah.
But again, problem outsourced, not my issue, because these guys know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And can troubleshoot.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I have to be mindful about when I fix things in Nottingham. I'm not going to be there all the time.
Yeah.
So I need a local man on the ground who understands what they're doing as well.
Yeah.
So now I try and get local contractors as well. Internet issues, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than using my guys here. It's hard for them to go. So you've got to think about these things. But it's going to be us one day.
Nah, man. I'm
And
gonna.
you think
I'm
that?
gonna-
My parents must have
Karen,
thought that as
I'm
well.
gonna vouch to myself. I will not put that pressure on my kids, man.
You're going to pay someone and be like,
I won't do it. No. I'll be like, I'm going. YouTube will still be around. All right. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna YouTube this and I'm gonna figure it out.
yeah.
I will do it, man.
Yeah.
I will do it.
And
I'm
then,
like,
then
I'm stubborn.
then I'm going to put you
Me.
dine in the dark and about to figure out.
Yeah, fucking oh god. All right. But yeah, man, there's that, and also my dad has this weird reliance where like he expects my mum to remember everything for him.
Okay, so we talked about earlier, the brain isn't good. So what you
Yeah.
instead of using Google
So what
Drive,
she does is
your dad uses your mum.
dad uses mum as like the memory card.
ਅਸੀਂ ਵਿਆਹ ਤੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਡੇਟ ਦੱਸ ਦੇ ਯਾਦ ਕਰ ਦੇ
Near enough, yeah. So it's in, here's the wedding date.
Yeah.
You remember it and
Yeah.
tell me when to be there, yeah?
What time I need to be ready, what clothes I should wear, whose wedding it is,
I wish it
the
was.
name of the couple,
What's weird is dad has a memory of an elephant when he wants to.
certain things.
When he wants
Selective.
to. He remembers like
Zameen in
he
India.
remembers like 1993
Yeah.
when I was 1 year old. I did this one thing, and I'm like, you remember that?
Should get that.
But you probably
Should get that.
But you don't remember that your login to your Gmail is this. You don't write it down anywhere. You get mum to write it in her phone,
Here's the follow-up
so it's all
question,
backed
though.
up.
He doesn't write anything down,
Yeah,
right? What is the function of the 3 pens he has
nothing.
in the top left?
Darren.
show pens. Have you ever seen him use the pen?
I've never seen him use the pens.
That's it. Next time I see your dad, I'm gonna say, Uncle, thoda last time pen ko to use hoya. Yeah, and he'll tell me the date.
He only has the pens at functions.
Functions
He doesn't have
because
it
of the emergency need of signing.
signing what?
Something.
What's there to sign? The only thing that needs signing is the card in the car.
The guest book.
Which is where you
guest
have
book.
the pen.
The guest
But
book.
the guest book gives you a pen.
That's true.
And they have a nice pen that's like normally
No,
like a really
he needs his
smooth
three.
handwriting.
Or maybe it's not for him. Maybe it's if somebody else needs a pen, he wants to be on hand and be like, pen.
Yeah, but who needs a pen? Everyone's got a phone nowadays.
I don't know, bro. We need to. This needs to be a segment. Your dad
What needs to be a
and-
segment?
Your dad and the pens. Like we
No,
need to.
I'm
We
not
need to
doing this,
fully
man. I'm not doing
understand.
this. All right, that's the end of the podcast. But genuinely, that is the end. Please do let us know your thoughts. Me, Karan, and our wives put a lot of time into thinking about this and revamping it. More things coming soon. There's going to be some additional segments maybe in the future. We're going to figure out how we're going to do it with guests.
Yes.
And
It's gonna be a strap line as well.
And there'll be a strapline coming soon. We're just going to work through it. Bear with us. Let us know your thoughts and feedback. I felt like this went well. I'm pretty sure he did. Please do like, comment, share, subscribe. And we will catch you guys
On the flippity
next
flip.
week in a bit.